Right, hello everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 13 of the podcast. Welcome along. I'm James.
I'm Paul.
And today we've got a topic we're going to talk about. So we're going to try and do this a little bit more and talk about a specific topic. We'll talk around it a bit as well. But today we want to talk about public speaking.
Come on, what's today's schedule? Let's get into it. What are we doing today, mate?
Yeah, we're talking about. I'm getting into it. It's okay. Don't you worry. We're talking about public speaking, advice, and mentorship.
Yeah.
Obviously, from our experience, it'll be mostly focused in business, but there will be, other discussions around that as well. So we're going to talk about our experiences of public speaking, good and bad things, our hints and tips that we've learned and picked up.
Yeah.
And
the dreaded public speaking, eh?
The dreaded public speaking, and also talk about advice and mentorship. So some of the experiences we've received, and also more recently, us being asked for advice as well.
Okay.
So, your experience with Sheffield College and other students in Sheffield, and various business talks that we've done, well, mainly you've done, as well. But I suppose this is...
Well, we can get into why you haven't done many.
Well, we can, but this is a form of public speaking, isn't it? So I'm trying to host this podcast.
Yep. Do a very good job of it as well.
I can. Thank you very much.
Very good job.
You
look the part, you sound the part.
Well, I don't look the part, but,
You don't need to look the part, do you, on the podcast?
So in that vein, shall we get into it and start talking about our topic, which is public speaking?
Play the intro music.
Now let's get into public speaking. So talk a bit first about our experiences, because we've both done, although you've probably done a bit more than me on the talking to audience
Public
side
speaking.
of it. Yeah. Public speaking, talking to an audience. We've
Yeah.
done pictures and stuff like that together as well.
Pictures.
No, not pictures as in football pitches.
Yeah,
like
pitching.
pitching
Yeah.
to people.
Dragon's Den.
Dragon's Den.
That's got to be, as public speaking goes, Dragon's Den's probably the most nervous I've been for public speaking.
Yeah, same. And we've pitched in other competitions and stuff as well. Not filmed, but we've pitched, haven't we?
Yeah.
And we've done, even in our previous roles before we started this business, we've done elements of public speaking. And radio as well. We've done a bit of that. Done a bit of local radio, haven't we? From time to time.
I'd like to do more of that.
Yeah.
If BBC Radio Sheffield out there, look, get us on.
They are out there. They know us, man.
I like talking about us.
They know us.
I mean, we want to talk about things. Get us in.
Yeah.
Ronnie Robinson, retired legend. Sorry, we're going off piece.
Yeah, but we've been on Toby Foster at breakfast as well, haven't we? And he's still going. So excellent. And podcasting as well. So public speaking, Paul, come on, kick us off. What do you want to say about public speaking? So good and bad things, or your experience?
It's not for everybody, is it?
No.
It's not for everyone. I'd say the majority of people couldn't think of anything worse. The overwhelming majority of the population couldn't think of anything worse. In my opinion, it's a good skill to have. If you're natural at it, if you get to that level of making money on it, it's a good way to make money.
Yeah.
And it's neat. And if you're natural, it's an easy way to make money as well. Like most things, really, if you got natural something. However, it takes practice, and it's not for everyone at all. But for anyone that does want to get into it, it's just about getting them under your belt. Practice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, going back sort of 7 or 8 years, I would have considered myself one of those people. Public speaking would be a nightmare, the furthest thing away from what I wanted to do. Like, I had to do presentations and stuff at uni, didn't really like it, sort of just got through it. But since then, I've actually, as I've done it more and more, done it a few times, I think it's the unknown in it that's scary sometimes. If you do something more and more, you sort of flex that muscle, you learn to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what I've practically done to make myself a better public speaker. I don't even know if I am a better public speaker, but I do know that it's kind of practicing it and demystifying it a little bit does make you a bit more confident with it. So I think that's probably the number one thing in it. Just get experience of it if it's something that you're looking to tackle.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to You just got to talk about what you know. If I enjoy public speaking, I don't get nervous doing public speaking at all. I used to, and like you say, at uni and stuff I did, and at school and stuff, but not anymore. I actually really enjoy it, but that's because I'm talking about what I know.
Yeah.
If I went to do a public speak to talk about, I don't know, uranium storage or nuclear power, I'd be shitting myself because I wouldn't know what I'm on about.
Well, we've got a segment coming up on uranium storage, so hope you've.
That's one of the questions we've
prepared. Hope you've prepared for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right, because I think for me, I mean, I know you've got a very different approach to me, but whenever I do stuff like public speaking or any sort of interview or anything like that, preparation for me is one of the things that makes me feel a lot better and a lot more relaxed about it.
Yeah.
Knowing your subject matter is really important to me anyway, because I just feel like if I'm unprepared and I can be caught out by something, that's what makes me nervous about it. Whereas I've seen you be like doing public speaking events and engagements and not really prepare. Like even like the night before, you don't like write yourself extensive notes or a script or anything like that, even the day of. No. At all. You're just sort of more on the fly. So what do you think that is that means that
it's because I'm talking about starting this business. It's all in my head. Don't need to, it's a research and write stuff down.
Accidental Brent.
Yeah. Just it's all in your head, isn't it? It's all up there. It's all up there.
Yeah.
But if I got slides to do and stuff, but I normally do like slides and stuff a couple of days before. But if I haven't got slides, I'm just talking. I will put a couple hours before, I'll make some notes on my phone, like literally 2 or 3 points.
Yeah.
But I never look at them. There's no point. I actually hate prompts. I can't have anything in my hand or on my phone or anything, because it's the opposite for me. It puts me off. I can't read stuff out of my hand. Yeah. It really puts me off. So I'd just rather go with it. And also, I think people worry about wondering what to say. That's fine. If you do that when you're public speaking, you just fill it up. You go, what was I thinking? Or, you can just, we're all human beings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How many times have you seen it public speaking where someone goes, I forgot what I was talking about then anyway?
Yeah.
You just, if it's talking about something like running a company, you do it every day. So it's in your head. Whereas, like I said, if I was going to do a talk about, like I said, nuclear weaponry, I'd have to research for it. I'd be crapping myself.
Yeah. I just hate that when your mind's completely blank, and you just have a complete mind blank. You can't remember what you were going to say. But even with notes, you can lose your place.
It doesn't happen though. It's all that's in your head. That's part of the fear of it, but it never happens.
Yeah. For me, I sort of feel like even with stuff like this, to an extent, I know what I want to say.
Yeah.
And in my mind, it sounds like really, really good and really relevant. And then I'll come to say it if I've not got prompts, or if I've not rehearsed it or anything like that, and it just won't come out as good.
Prompts work for you then.
I won't feel like I'm getting my message across as well. But one of the best public speaking things I've ever done, and we always bang about this, but I'm going to bring it up again, is Dragon's Den. And you weren't allowed prompts, you weren't allowed anything, but that was just, we nailed that word perfect because we practiced it so many times before. So I guess it's a matter of prompts if you've not got time to practice it 1,000 times like we did, for me anyway, or practice it so many times that it's completely wired into your memory. And it just, when I went on Dragon's Den, obviously the nerves and adrenaline came in as well, but I almost felt like I couldn't not say it. It just came out. I didn't even really have any control over it because we practiced it so many times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's different. A pitch is different, I think, to a public speak, because it's, you've got to stick to a time normally, and you've got to be quite regimented. Whereas if you're doing a public speaking thing, you don't want to be reading like you're reading off a script, because people will just turn off. You want some humanism there. You want naturalness. You want it to feel like you listen to an actual person.
Yeah.
Same with slides. If you're doing a presentation, slides don't have text on the slide and reading off it. Just like, I like pictures. I just have a picture on there, and it reminds me. I think like presentation with slides is really easy because that is your prompt picture.
Yeah.
And if you get what you're talking about, you say it to people and go, anyway, and you move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
If you got slides and you have a mind blank and you're still struggling, then but yeah, prompts work for people. And and no prompts work for other people like me. But it's just different things for different needs.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I'm trying to squeeze in as many office quotes as possible.
Yeah,
we're in that kind of mood today.
We had a couple last week, didn't we? So carry on. So a bit of a crossover with what we're going to talk about in a little bit as well. But we've had feedback on public speaking before, haven't we? We've had advice on it and stuff like that. Yeah, when we were doing the uni enterprise award, which we won. There's
I don't remember getting feedback
certificate up there for our.
Oh yeah, when we went to practice.
Yeah.
In the uni.
Yeah.
I thought we got good feedback.
We got decent feedback, but we were told that we weren't animating our voices enough, and we weren't sort of engaging enough.
I can't remember that one bit.
Inflection of our speech.
I remember going to do it, but I just have it in my head that it was all positive. I'm like, yeah, I don't remember getting that feedback.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, God,
I wanted to talk about it because I think number one, it's like fair criticism. I think my what's the word? Like my pattern of voice or my way of speaking is not that like animated, and supposedly with the advice we got, that's not the best thing for public speaking. So I'm trying to work on it, obviously, for this podcast and stuff like that. But I think there is also like a flip side of that, which is if you're being yourself and being natural, surely that's the best thing, rather than putting on some kind of radio voice like this.
Right.
Nobody speaks like this. You know, I don't come in and talk to you like that in the morning, do I?
No.
But if I'm putting that on, does it come across like phony? What do you think? Because I think you're somebody that values authenticity a lot.
Yeah, be yourself. You just got to talk louder.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying you now. I mean, if you're doing a public speak, you've got to talk. Yeah, they're right. You have to. They just mean talk louder, really.
Project
you don't have to worry about your diction and all that, and your accent and all that nonsense. Just got to. My best piece of advice I had was Mr. Gary Stott, a legend we used to work with at a company shop, who gave me some advice because he was a really good public speaker. He said, like, you go into the bathroom 2 minutes beforehand and just like stretch your mouth and stuff.
Yeah.
And like warm up your facial muscles.
Yeah.
Ready to go out and do a performance rather than have a conversation like this.
Yeah.
So you don't talk any different, just talk louder.
Yeah.
Don't scream your head off. It depends. It depends how big the room is, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, if you mic'd up as well, it doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah.
I remember actually when we did that, we did the Enterprise Awards at the uni, but we came back after the year after we'd won it to speak to the audience that were there that night as the prior winners, excuse me. And I remember picking up the mic and speaking into it and going, bloody hell. Because it sounded so loud, like it's your own voice coming out. You're used to hearing it like just normally.
Yeah.
It comes out through like massive speakers and everything. And it did put me off a bit. So actually, if I'd like started screaming my head off and projecting my voice into that, it would have been like, I don't know, would have blown my head off.
Blown the windows out. Yeah, it's but no, I enjoy it. I enjoy it personally. It's but yeah, most people hate it, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, absolutely. So another thing, just before we move on, about public speaking as well. Like the best public speaking that you see, I think, is people who are able to kind of slow themselves down and take pauses in like relevant places.
Yeah.
Which it's a skill that's difficult to do.
Yeah.
But I think it builds that level of attention with an audience, because they can't if you pause in the right places, they're like waiting for your next sentence or your next word.
Yep. Some of the best, if you want to get into public speaking, watch Steve Jobs' presentation. Was really good. He hardly spoke. You know, it was very he didn't put some voice on, did he? But it was all about what was on the screen, and he'd just like narrate it, really. It was like he just got out of bed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's brilliant, absolutely. So yeah, definitely worth a watch. All on YouTube if you ever need any inspiration. And his slides were dead to the point. There's no nonsense. There's no text really on there. It was all images. So yeah, I recommend anyone does that if you want to get into it. Yeah.
And again, like radio and podcasting is different again, because I find radio really weird, because if it's live radio, because we've done it a few times, like on local radio and stuff. you're aware of the fact that you're talking to like potentially, I don't know, hundreds or thousands of people, but you have to treat it like you're just talking to one person, which I suppose you are because you're being interviewed or whatever. But it's a strange feeling, isn't it? Because there's no one there with you other than like the presenter and like a producer or whatever. But you've got to treat it like you're just talking to one person having a conversation.
Yeah.
And the same with this as well. You know, I found it the hardest bit for me with this is introducing it at the start. You've got to start speaking in this way as if you're talking to people or, you know, different people. But you're not. You're just kind of, one minute you sat at your desk working, and then the next minute you're just talking into a microphone. Strange.
Yeah. Just, I think the key is to just not think about that. Just think about on the chat.
Yeah, it's easier with practice though.
Just make sure you don't say anything stupid.
Well, there's a high chance that I will.
It's very difficult for me.
Yeah. So let's move on to like advisors and mentors and stuff. So what do you think makes a good advisor / mentor?
Self-awareness from their point of view. So understanding, you know, well, it's like some advisor mentors will speak to you about subjects that they're not themselves so clued up on. And try and you know, tell you how it's done and something they don't know what they're talking about. Whereas if they had self-awareness, they'd be like, you know, take this with a pinch of salt from me, etc.
Yeah. Or just an idea. Or have you thought about?
Yeah.
I think the difficulty with advice and mentorship is that there's a fine balance between honesty and negativity, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like, I suppose as an advisor, you are there to an extent to offer encouragement, but you're also there to be honest as well.
Yeah.
And if you think that someone's idea is like not very good, to kind of let them know where you think that they might be better suited, turning their attention or whatever. But I think some advisors have maybe that we've had that have got it in their mind maybe that they're not giving advice unless they're being harsh and critical. And therefore that can come across as discouraging.
Yeah.
And, you know, people, well, it depends what sort of person you are, but people can be very easily discouraged.
Yeah.
If they listen to what somebody's got to say and it's overly critical and harsh, and that advice might not be right, because it's just from one individual to another, and it's generally a prediction about something that's not happened yet. This will work or this won't work. So, or this is the best thing to do, this is not the best thing to do. But that person who's advising, like you say, is not always self-aware enough to acknowledge that I might not be right on this, but this won't work.
Yeah. Kind
of thing. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you start a business, you'll definitely get people telling you it's not going to work before it's even started. Yeah. Ignore that. But you also get amazing encouragement as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll probably find out for yourself really, and if you need little bits of help here and there, you know, find someone that is in the industry that you're wanting to start a business in. That's where you get your best piece of advice.
Yeah.
Whereas like generic advisors, particularly at like unis and councils and stuff, they're fantastic for advising you on stuff like how to get started, i.e., you know, the boring stuff like VAT registration, all this sort of stuff.
Setting up a company.
Setting up, whereas strategy in your actual company trading, take it with a massive pinch of salt, because, you know, half of them have never started one of those businesses in their lives.
Or if they have, they still might be wrong about your industry or your passion or your business.
Friends and family might discourage you, or they might encourage you. It depends. You know, it's normally the latter, but it can happen. But yeah, just go for it, believe, be confident, and try it and find out for yourself.
Yeah, friends and families are difficult.
Don't waste all your money though.
Yeah, friends and families are a difficult one, especially because, you know, they might feel like they've got to save your feelings or whatever. But yeah, it's a very tricky world to navigate, because filtering that out and knowing what's good advice and what's not good advice, or what you should take and what you should ignore, or you know, semi-ignore or whatever. That's like the hardest part of it, because we've discussed this before, but you know, you can be easily discouraged by something that someone said, unless you have that critical kind of focus on it to say, is it, where is it coming from? Who is it coming from? And what are they basing it on? If it's just like a snap judgment.
Yeah.
And also, in the early stages of a business or any venture, it's always going to look like it's not going to work, because businesses don't just take off overnight, or most of them don't. So if you're early on in your process and you're not making any money or whatever it might be, not getting any listeners or viewers or whatever it might be, that your metric that you're striving for, it's always going to look bad early on, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's just part of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Well said.
So that's ticked off one of my other points on our agenda, which is, do you have to follow advice received? No, you don't have to.
Absolutely not.
And should we talk about best and worst advice we've received, or should we just move on?
Worst advice I've received in my life is that your business isn't going to work, and that you should change the model entirely.
Yeah.
Best advice I've received is to be yourself.
Good. Who said that to you?
Tom, our old gaffer.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good.
That's the first thing that came to my mind anyway.
Good. No, that's great. Yeah, I would echo that first one, to be honest. Like, being told nobody wants to buy this stuff. Well, yeah, they do. How do you know that? Unless you're one of those people.
No one wants to buy this.
It's just about finding them, isn't it? It's about finding an audience. There's an audience for pretty much anything out there. And, in some cases, it might not be a big enough audience to make it justified. But if you believe in it, then it's imperative to go for it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Good. I think that's been a good discussion on those topics. Anything to add before we move on to something else?
Have we got the questions for our customers jingle? Is that saved now on our thing? Can we just play that?
I'm going to play it. But before that, I want to just do another little segment. So I want to talk about, like, it might come up from a customer question, but it might be separate. This week it's separate. So I want to talk about a little topical thing that I've found, which is from BBC News today, and I've just spotted this. I think it sort of fits into what some of the stuff we've been talking about. So there's a guy called Cole Anderson James. Do you know who Cole Anderson James is?
Yeah.
You do, because I told you already.
Yeah, he's TikTok. I've seen Afterlife.
You've seen him already.
Yeah, I've seen it all. Watched it last night.
So this guy, Cole Anderson James, was a salesman, and he started doing TikToks, doing just like lip syncs to Ricky Gervais programs, like The Office. He'd do like little quotes, dress up like, in a suit and tie, and do lip sync David Brent quotes and stuff like that. And Ricky Gervais saw him, spotted him, and cast him to appear in Afterlife 3.
Yeah.
So, and there's also another example recently of good old Francis Bourgeois with his train spotting being in the Gucci campaign. So let's talk about that. It's interesting that, I suppose, people doing something that they might just think of as a bit of fun or something a bit silly can turn into like a massive opportunity. In most cases it won't, obviously. Like, people chasing TikTok fame, it's not always going to happen, is it? But I think it's quite an interesting kind of case study in just doing something that you find interesting or funny or whatever, and just going for it, putting it out there, and you never know what might happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're also good at it. Like, Cole's really good at it. He's obviously got talent in acting, because he doesn't just do lip syncs, he does funny scenario videos, doesn't he? Where he's showing that he's really good at acting.
I'll be honest, I've not seen that much of his stuff, but I'm aware of him. I've seen some of his Office stuff. He
started out with the lip syncs, and now he does just funny videos,
little sketches and stuff.
Yeah, he does his own sketches, so he's a good actor. And he's have you seen it in Afterlife?
No, I've not watched Afterlife.
He does a part as like a gym instructor, and he's quite well built.
Yeah,
it's only like 20 seconds long, but it's like a cameo.
Well, it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it's brilliant. So, but yeah, just put yourself out there and just, again, I always say this, don't care what people think. If and Francis in particular, if he gave a shit what people thought about him, do you think he'd be doing those TikTok videos?
Yeah, it is difficult though. To not
I know.
To not be bothered.
But you've just got to get on with it. Like no one would have heard of him if Francis cared about what people thought about him. No one would have a clue who he is.
What's your approach to this? Because I wasn't going to bring this up, but you've had some hate on our Facebook page and stuff like that.
Yeah, I got slammed, didn't I? I got trolled.
Yeah,
I need to speak into the camera, into the mic. Yeah, I got heavily trolled on our. we did a series of Facebook, Instagram ads, Facebook mainly. One of them, honestly, it got like millions of views. It was amazing. We got loads of customers from it. It's just me talking about this business in a 15-second video. But I don't want to focus on that because I was actually looking at it earlier. There's like hundreds of comments on there still, because we've still got the ad running because it's amazing. It's like a viral post. And it's all positive, 99%. But we get the odd comments saying that I'm a moron, that I'm a twat, that I'm ugly, which is fully valid. All of the above are valid. Says that this muppet, look at the state of him, he runs a business. Look at the state of him. Yeah, I agree. But you don't have to mention it on TikTok posts. I haven't had my haircut since then.
Well, you had long hair in those videos, didn't you?
It was bad though. It looked horrible. I looked like I just got out of bed.
What would you say?
I'm not bothered. Eh?
What would you say to me or people like me that even if we had 99 nice comments, the one bad one would be the focus? Sounds like I'm interviewing you, but I'm not. But I just think you're like a good example of this.
Whatever. I could not give a shit. I really don't care. I don't even think, oh no, I've got to not care. I don't care. I'm just not bothered.
It wasn't even me, and I got annoyed on your. I got probably more annoyed than you that you were getting trolled, and it made me think, I don't want to do these adverts and stuff.
Well,
because if you're getting trolled, imagine what I'd get.
What happened to me?
State of me.
What happened to me?
Well, nothing happened to you.
What did they do? The person did the comment.
I don't know.
Nothing.
They obviously didn't. Some of them didn't move on, did they? They kept coming back.
So, what's the worst that's going to happen? You've just got to be. So what? Do you know what I mean? It's got confidence. It just comes out to confidence. Really don't care. Really, really not bothered. You've just got to get on with your life. And if you're not going to get anywhere in life, you're worried about what other people think, and you're trying to, let other people live your life for you. So yeah, Francis is actually a really good example for that. Because he must, especially, I guarantee, in the early days before he went viral, he got absolutely slaughtered on them comments. But now it's trendy to like him, isn't it? You see like customers posting, big companies posting about replying on his, commenting on his videos and that. He's not bothered, is he? He's just get on with it because he enjoys it, and he's doing really well out of it. Yeah. So yeah, he's a good beacon for that, I'd say. Yeah, fair play to him. I love it. It's it's just being himself.
I think where I am now, I just have to try and ignore it.
Yeah.
Just not read comments.
Yeah, that's a good idea. If I was a celebrity and I had Twitter, I wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't even go through all tweets and stuff like that because people get loads of abuse. Yeah, just ignore it. Yeah. But there's always going to be more. There's always going to be morons and stuff. You've just got to do it for yourself and just enjoy it.
Yeah. By all means, enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, lastly, we are sort of getting up to half an hour now, so we'll try and curtail this soon. But have we got any questions from customers?
Play the jingle. Questions from our customers. Okay, so first question. Hang on a minute, let me go through my. Thank you for all the questions, by the way. We've had a couple of emailed into us this week after my
questions.
All the questions. I've tried to get through. We've only had not millions of questions. Yeah, thank you for customers that emailed us questions as well. We did ask that last week. I actually said last week, if you hate the podcast, email me, which nobody did. I'm pleased to announce that nobody emailed me saying they despise the podcast.
Good.
So
we should have a streak. We should have like days since the podcast got.
So no, I really appreciate that. But anyway, let's get to it. So Roger in Cambridge, thank you, Roger in Cambridge.
Thanks,
for
Roger.
getting in touch. Says, what's your favourite food?
What's your favourite food?
I'll kick off. My favourite food, probably pizza. Probably burgers, pizza. Absolutely love it. Oh,
burgers or pizza?
If I had to pick, if I was on death row, I had my last meal.
Mm.
I had my last meal, probably Five Guys burger. Oh my god! Oh, Domino's pizza. I don't know. I had Chinese. When you have a good Chinese, that's amazing as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I don't know what I'd probably go for Indian.
I had one, a really nice one in Darlington on Saturday night.
Yeah,
it was absolutely.
Love a good Indian. I like.
What type of Indian would you go for?
I don't know.
Masala?
I do like a masala, but I like a little bit of spice. But I like it when it's quite rich and tomatoey and quite rich with spices. I like that.
Nice.
So anything along those lines is good for me.
Food.
Yeah, not too much spice, and a garlic naan.
Yeah,
Indian and a garlic naan.
I had a coconut naan the other night. What's that called again?
It's called Peshwari.
Peshwari, yeah. And we had they're like Indian chicken balls. What are they called?
Pakora.
Pakoras, yeah. First time I've ever had them. Little red balls. Thanks for that, Roger. Appreciate you getting in touch. 2 seconds. Let me just get it up. This one again was emailed into us. Thanks very much for this, Michelle. Michelle in Dorset. Thank you for this. Michelle in Dorset says,
I love how people put their locations on these. I love how people put their locations on these. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I know.
My email signature doesn't have my location. It probably does, actually. Sorry, carry on.
I know it's bizarre, isn't it? Yeah, but no, thank you for this, Michelle. Michelle says, what product would you love to get in stock that you haven't before?
What products would I love to get in stock before? I would love us to get.
Sorry, we ran out of time.
I would love us to get Boost protein.
Boost protein bars.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Me too.
Absolutely phenomenal. What about you?
Grenade bars. It's not we've not had before. Sorry, apologies, Michelle. Sorry about that.
It's difficult this because we've ticked quite a few of these off this year.
We have, yeah.
This past 12 months, not this year. Like Bear Bells, Nutrimino, Mars and Snickers. We've
done that
before.
Done that. Yeah, done that one. Oh, dearie me. I'd like to do chilled stuff like protein cheese and that. But that's you probably
It's down the line, that, isn't it?
Boost, yeah, I agree with you. Boost protein would be brilliant.
Okay.
No, Misfits bars, Misfits plant bars. Yeah, they're amazing.
Good.
Now, next question. So this is from Lucy on Instagram. Thank you, Lucy.
And where is Lucy?
I don't know.
Chorley?
Doesn't say this. She doesn't say Instagram.
West Sussex?
I don't know.
Aberdeen?
No.
Okay.
Lucy on Instagram says, if you had to have for any 5 people, if you could invite any 5 people to a dinner party, dead or living, who would you pick?
I won't have anyone dead there.
Okay.
Because that they wouldn't be able to eat. There'd be no conversation. That'd just be. Why don't you go? I'm trying to think.
Ricky Gervais.
Okay.
I'd have Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
I would have Stephen Hawking, Professor Stephen Hawking. I would have
Einstein.
Nah, he'd bring the mood down, wouldn't he? I mean, boring everyone to death. I'd have who else? I need two more. I would have Bill Shankly. And my final one would be Elvis, maybe.
Yeah. Jurgen Klopp's a good one.
Yeah, it'd be brilliant, wouldn't
it? Yeah.
I mean, I'm just trying to think.
John Lennon?
No, God, no. Interesting, John Lennon. Legend, like, but no.
I think I'd have John Lennon.
Would you?
Yeah. Or McCartney.
Elvis. Yeah, I'd maybe have Elvis.
Yeah. Elvis. It's a good one. Churchill, maybe.
Yeah, it's
or
a good
Clement
one.
Attlee.
Yeah.
Who else have we got?
He'd have to smoke outside, though, wouldn't he? If you did that, because he died way before the smoking ban, so he'd be a bit annoyed.
Just a bit.
He'd be trying to smoke his cigar at the table, wouldn't he?
I think
he'd have to go look.
I think he'd get away with it. It's Churchill.
Yeah, but he'd still be annoyed, wouldn't you? Like, can you do that outside, please?
Yeah, I suppose.
I know you're Churchill, but come on.
What? Don't you speak to me like that?
Wouldn't go down very well, would it?
No. Who else? Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to think now. Comedians, yeah. Ricky Gervais is a good one. Stephen Merchant.
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
Oh no, Carl Pilkington. Yeah, forget Elvis. I'd have Pilkington there.
Carl Pilkington.
Yeah. Well, he'd be fed up after 10 minutes.
Oh God, I'm trying to think. Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, I was thinking Fred.
Freddie Mercury, yeah, that'd be good. I don't know how many I've named now, but
I call him Fred.
Fred, yeah. Oh, Fred.
You've got 4, but you need one more.
I'm trying to think. Mourinho.
Excellent. Yeah, it's good. It's a good one.
That'd be funny, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think he'd be a good laugh, Mourinho. Yeah. I'm like Mourinho.
All right.
Sod it. I can't remember what my 5 are, but I've thrown quite a few out there.
Thanks for your questions, everybody. Please keep them coming. Email us, DM us, whatever. We'll ask for more next week.
Yes, absolutely. Please keep them coming. I wish you'd have told me that because I could have prepared for it better.
I didn't either.
Surprise questions. Caught me out a little bit.
Me too.
Right. So
we've got a giveaway to do.
We've got a giveaway to do, yes.
We have got a giveaway to do.
Yes.
So this is going to be a podcast only giveaway.
Yes.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is going to ask a question, like a quiz question, and you will email us. Anyway, just email us at hello@foodcirclesupermarket.com with the answer.
Or you can DM us on social media. Just say, I'm answering the quiz question to enter the Mountain Joe's giveaway. You don't have to put all that.
Yeah.
But the answer is this.
What are we giving away, James?
We are giving away 5.
Whilst I think of the question, can you just tell the customers, listeners, what we're giving away?
I'll vamp for a bit. I'll fill. So we are giving away 5 cases of Mountain Joe's products. So this giveaway is in
what flavors are they, man?
In partnership with Mountain Joe's. I'm not sure at this point, but it'll be 5 cases of Mountain Joe's.
We're giving away 5 boxes of Mountain Joe's.
Yes.
They're going to be so tasty.
There's 10 bars in a box, and there's potentially, they do cakes, brownies, millionaires, and flapjacks, all packed with protein. So we're going to be giving away 5 boxes of Mountain Joe's products, different ones. So to enter the competition, you have to answer the following question.
What college did James say I've been public speaking at recently? If you've been listening to the full podcast, you'd know the answer. Okay.
So to repeat the question, to enter the Mountain Joe's giveaway, you need to answer this following question. What college has Paul, my colleague Paul, who if you're watching this you can see, what college has Paul been currently public speaking and helping students at about business? And if you can answer that, email us hello@foodcirclesupermarket.com. Drop us a DM on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. You can tweet us at FoodCircleUK. They're the ways to get in touch, aren't they?
Yep, go for it. Good luck, everybody. And we'll announce the winner in the next podcast.
Yes, which will be in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
So we'll announce the winner then. We'll be picking at random from the people that have answered it correctly, and we'll be sending them 5 cases of Mountain Joe's stock. Absolutely free of charge.
5 cases just answering that question, of which the answer is in the first 5 minutes of this podcast.
Yes.
Can't beat it. Absolutely. And by the way, we're not going to be putting this out on anywhere else. This is podcast only. So your chances, because about 3 people listen to this, your chances...
chances
That's a joke I'm messing about. The chances are pretty good.
That's 4.
It's 4, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
The chances are good. So, yeah, good luck, everyone.
Yes. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up.
Let's go.
So, that's been really good. And thanks, everybody who has listened for listening. And we'll see you next time.
Please leave a 5-star rating. If you hate the podcast, please email me.